Okay, second fight is against Rocket Kestrel. This is a much more difficult matchup for two reasons. Firstly, Kestrels are Scrum Kiters, so the pilot does not need to do any fancy micromanagement, assumptions, and everything else to take the right course of action against Neut and Tristan. The Kestrel pilot will simply Scrum Kite or try to Scrum Kite, and that's what you do against Neut and Tristan, just by default. Secondly, the guns on Kestrel are cap independent. Rockets do not require any cap to fire, so you will always eat some damage. It will not be the maximum damage because you will not be webbed probably all the time, but you will still get some damage nonetheless. It's not as free as against cap dependent frigates. But still, this fight requires some micromanagement to do everything correctly. So the first difference you will notice is that my afterburner cycle is heated compared to the previous fight. You want to, like, obviously Kestrel is going to try to Scrum Kite, and you need to maximize the amount of time inside the optimal of your Neuts, which is 4 kilometers. And what you do is you just click approach with your heated afterburner. So first cycle, 150 units of cap drain. Second cycle, now 150, and you will see that Kestrel tries to burn away with a web and an afterburner activated. First mistake, actually two mistakes immediately from the Kestrel pilot. First mistake, he shoots rage rockets with only one web applied. This is a shield Kestrel with afterburner, medium shield extender, warp scrambler, and a web. You can see it from the amount of damage that he takes, and from the fact that you only have one web applied. I have only one web applied on my ship. You can see the speed is about 150. With a heated afterburner, it's a one web. I don't even need to check it. And the second mistake, yeah, going back to the first point, you need to shoot Navy missiles against afterburner frigates when you have only one web applied on them. It will give you more DPS. Many people make this mistake for some reason, but it's very easy to check in PIFA. If you use Rage rockets against afterburner frigates, you need to have two webs to apply more damage than with faction rockets. So it's first mistake, but actually lost him the fight eventually because he didn't get enough DPS in the first part of the fight. And the second mistake is that he forgot to hit his afterburner on the first cycle. You can see that he kinda is hovering around 1k right here in the velocity tab, and heated afterburner is about like 1.3, 1.4, I think. And thanks to that, I get all 3 cycles within optimal. So this is the last cycle. He's almost capped out, and yeah, you can see. So with this cycle, he is capped out completely. But he still has a lot of inertia from the afterburner, and my next Newton cycles will be outside of optimal, but it still should be enough to keep him capped out. But I need to run my Newts all the time still to just keep the consistent pressure on him and hopefully shut down his afterburner. For now, he's still running his afterburner, you can see in the velocity tab. And if he manages to stabilize at 7 kilometers, I'm in big trouble, even now, because his guns are cap independent and he only needs capacitor, and his tank is cap independent too. So he only needs capacitor for Scrum, Web, and Afterburner, and he will regen once he is out of the optimal Newton pressure for me. But here I managed to Neut out both Afterburner and his web. Maybe it's just a micromanagement mistake. Maybe I just got lucky that he just didn't have enough cup in this specific moment, and I close the distance back again right here. And here it's very difficult for him because he lost his inertia, and I gained inertia because he dropped the web. So even if he finds enough cup for web and an afterburner, he probably will not be able to leave the optimal of my newts anymore. And technically, this is the fight done because without web, his application is just completely horrible. You can see it from the log that he applies like 1/4 or even less of his maximum damage. But now it's my turn to make a mistake. So here I correctly turn off the newts because I still need to rep, and this feed cannot sustain 3 newts and a rep. You can only run like 3 modules out of 4. And since I'm back in the optimal, I decided correctly that I only need 1 web for now. And the second is kind of staggering, which is again a bit of a mistake. I need to activate it like 2 seconds later to achieve proper staggering. Here I just nuked my own cap for no real value. But the mistake that I make here is that I forgot to turn off heat on my afterburner and on my cap booster. So it was a correct play to hit them both in the beginning of a fight because you need as much control as you can and you need as much cap as you can because you will have to rep and run all of your newts, and to do that you basically have to hit your cap booster as well to get a faster reload cycle. But here you actually don't need at least to hit your cap booster. But here is the problem with muscle memory. Like when you run like thousands and thousands of frigate PvP fights, you kind of learn that you don't need to worry about the hit on your afterburner because it's just not gonna burn out during a fight. The fight will be over long before you burn out your afterburner. And you also learn that you don't really need to worry about your cap booster. You can just hit it all the time because it's not gonna burn as well. But in this specific case, when these two modules are together, they generate enough heat to actually burn out. And you need to watch them and manage the heat on them. And I don't do that because it's just not in my muscle memory. I just used to not thinking about managing heat on my afterburner and on my cap booster. And you need to like a kind of consciously think about it, and you don't think about some stuff in frigate fights because they last like 30 seconds and you need to prioritize where your attention goes. So when some of the stuff you learn what some of the stuff does not require any attention, you just don't care about it. Your brain kind of turns off. So you can see that my afterburner is gonna burn out in the next cycle. I notice it, but it's too late. Yeah, you can see here. It's gonna die. And the big problem with that is that as soon as you lose your afterburner, the application of Kestrel shoots back up. So I start eating a ton of damage again here. And you can see another example of muscle memory. I preheat my cap booster cycle automatically. I don't even think about it because it's just what you do always. but it's completely pointless to hit your cap booster here because it's gonna be a last cycle. It will burn out on the next cycle. So it's a mistake. But you can see that I kind of made it automatically. I don't even think about it. It's just in muscle memory. And here the fight actually is very tight. I finally staggered my Neuts properly and I run my rep all the time. But you can see the amount of damage I start taking because I don't have afterburner running. So here I was like, oh man, I'm gonna lose this fight because I just mismanaged my modules. But mercifully he dies and I survive on like 23 hit points. The funny thing about fighting against rocket frigates is that you can actually both die. So what happens, he shoots his rockets, when you kill him, when the rockets land on you, and when you die. It happened, I think, to me twice in 11 years. And here it was pretty close to double elimination, so to say. And the Kestrel, I think I will show the fit as well. Yeah, it should show. The Kestrel was just, again, very normal shield tanking Kestrel. It's not really the meta Kestrel. I think nowadays people mostly fly double web armor because you need, as I said, you need two webs to apply with rage, and for some reason he also does not have faction rockets, and this fit is actually works only with faction rockets. But I guess he's just not aware of missile mathematics. Yep. So this fight is much more challenging. You will see why Neut and Tristan is not uh, the ship that you use all the time. It has plenty of weaknesses, and generally, if you fight against like a Scrum Kiter with cap independent missiles, it will favor the Scrum Kiting ship, even if Scrum Kiting ship is out of position. Here, he just made a couple of mistakes that I pointed out during the video, and it helped me to secure the kill. But generally, this fight is more favorable for Scrum Kiting frigate. Okay. Next, let's in the next videos, I will go into even more challenging fights, and we will talk about them separately. All right, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.